This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my second video this week. I just took a look at the at Churchill Downs. In this video, I'm going to do the Grade 2 Lukas Classic under the Twin Spires. Now, if you're interested in my full card analysis at Santa Anita Park, head on over to the runawayhorse.com. You'll find those full cards each day that Santa Anita runs. I'm going to be covering every day of their autumn meet, September 29th through November 5th, including both Breeders' Cup days. I cover the Breeders' Cup every year. That's an annual product. And if you're interested in that Breeders' Cup or those Santa Anita full cards, head on over to the runawayhorse.com on my sales page for details. You can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, the entire meet, or one Breeders' Cup day or both Breeders' Cup days. Lots of packages and all the prices are right there. So go on over to the runawayhorse.com on my sales page if you're interested in any of that information. And you can also purchase my full cards at todaysracingdigest.com. And at Today's Racing Digest, I also post multiple handicapping articles in their news section. So you can head on over to todaysracingdigest.com if you want to read any of that material. And now we'll get into the analysis of this video. 10th race at Churchill Downs, Saturday, September 30th, 2023. It's going to be the Grade 2 $500,000 Lukas Classic. For 3-year-olds and up, 1 mile and an eighth on the main track. Scheduled post time, 5:29 p.m. Eastern Time. Happy American will break from the inside post. This one is a decent late runner. Back-to-back minor awards in the stakes ranks. The Grade 3 Blame Stakes at Churchill Downs at 1 mile and an eighth. He rallied from last place to pick up the third spot at 14-1 odds. He completed the trifecta again in the Grade 1 Stephen Foster at Ellis Park at 1 mile and an eighth. He was last for much of the running, and he was able to rally to finish third at 48-1. So he's one that he certainly can rally and hit the board at least. If the pace gets quick enough, he can win. He's had 6 starts at Churchill with 3 wins and 2 third-place finishes. So he's one that will try to get involved late, but he definitely needs a pace meltdown. He's probably more likely to hit the board than he is to win this race. Clapton is number 2. This one's 5 for 23 on the win end, and he's also picked up 4 runner-up finishes and 6 show finishes. Hasn't run at Churchill, and he's 0 for 1 at this distance. Last time out, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, that was at Saratoga at 1 mile and a quarter. That race really didn't set up for him. That was the case for some others in there if they were trying to rally from off the pace. Bright Future from that outside post was able to set a good technical trip and hold off Proxy to win by a nose. And Clapton ended up 4th in that 8-horse field. Not a bad effort. Prior to that, the Grade 2 Suburban at 1 mile and a quarter. He was grinding away and he finished 2nd. And then the Pimlico Special at 1 mile and 3/16 before that. Rattle and Roll, who's in this race, won that one. Clapton was 3rd. And Clapton did pick up a Grade 3 win in the Ghost Sapper at 1 mile and a 16th at Gulfstream Park in April. So he's one that likes to rally from off the pace. He's going to need some pace help. Warrant is next for trainer Brad Cox. I've always liked this one. I've had him a few times. I played him in the Big Cap a few years ago. He ran a decent race. This year's Big Cap, he wasn't there. Then the Temperance Hill Stakes, he was 3rd. I picked him on top in the Isaac Murphy Marathon, 1.5 miles at Churchill, and he was able to win that race by a neck at 3-1. He was 4th in the Brooklyn, 5th in the Cornhusker, and then the Governor's Cup at Remington Park last time, 2nd by a head as the heavy favorite. So now he's removing blinkers. He's 1 for 1 at Churchill and 7 starts at this distance with a win, 3 seconds and a third. He's got some positional speed, so I would expect that jockey Florent Giroux is going to probably try to get him into a decent stalking spot. Now, Giroux rode this horse. You can go back to his victory aboard this horse January of 2023 at Fairgrounds when he stalked and he was able to beat Optional Claiming Company. So Giroux knows him, and I think he's going to put him in a decent stalking spot. Rattle and Roll, he disappointed last time, but this is a spot where he could bounce back. He's 8 for 20 overall with 2 seconds and 2 thirds. He's banked $1.7 million in his career. He's really likes Churchill. 6 starts, 3 wins, a second and 2 thirds. And he's 2 for 6 with a second at this 1 mile and an eighth distance. He won some stakes races in 2022. He won the St. Louis Derby. He won the Grade 3 Oklahoma Derby. And then earlier this year, he won the Ben Ali Stakes, the Grade 3 Pimlico Special. That Ben Ali was a Grade 3 as well. And then the Grade 3 Blame. So in 3 Grade 3s in a row, he won all of them. And then the Grade 1 Stephen Foster, he missed by a half length, rallying from off the pace. I picked him on top in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. They bet him down. He was the favorite. And in that race, he just never got involved. But the pace was slow, 48 and change, 114, 138 and 3 for the mile. It just did not set up for him at all. He was also coming off of a layoff there. And maybe he didn't run his best race at Saratoga due to pace circumstances. Or maybe he's just not as sharp as he was. But he did come back and he worked a bullet on the Saratoga training track on September 22nd. And now he's back at Churchill Downs, and he certainly likes this course. So he's one that I can definitely see if the pace heats up, rallying from off the pace and getting involved in the stretch. Trademark should be up on the pace for trainer Vicky Oliver. Martin Garcia is going to ride. He's 3 for 4 at Churchill Downs, and he's 1 for 2 at this distance. His last couple starts, last 3 starts actually, he ran decent races. In the Salvatore Mile, a grade 3 at Monmouth on June 17th, he rallied to finish 3rd. He stalked the pace in the Schaefer Memorial at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. And in that race on July 8th, he won that race at 9-2 odds. And then in his last start, the Island Stakes, he was able to finish 2nd there, battling on the pace. So I think that they want to get him involved early. And Martin Garcia is a rider that likes to get horses up and near the lead. And he rode this horse a couple times in 2022. And he won both of those races, including a stakes race at Churchill Downs in the Slop, a race originally scheduled for the turf. Garcia was aboard in an optional claiming turf race aboard this horse as well, and he didn't come in. But Garcia knows him well, and I think that he can be forwardly placed in here. Blue Devil is another one that should be forwardly placed. Back-to-back wins, and in his last 4 starts, he's finished 1st or 2nd. 2nd by a nose in a turf route of June 1st at Churchill Downs when he set the pace. His next start at Ellis Park, he was all over the pace and he missed by a neck. His next start, a race originally scheduled for the turf, moved to the main track at Saratoga, entry-level allowance race. He's controlled the pace and he won that one by 12. And then last time in the mud at Saratoga, mile and 3/16, he tracked the pace and he was able to just get up late and win that one by a nose. So he's sharp right now, but they were back-to-back victories with a originally scheduled for the turf, and then in the mud, he was 11-1 last time. He's going to be much probably higher than that this time, but he should impact the pace. Another horse that could be forwardly placed is Whelen Springs. He's number 7 in here, and he's 5 for 16 overall with 2 seconds and 2/3. This is a son of Street Sense, and in his last 3 starts, since he's moved to the Lindsay Schultz barn, he's run well. He won his first start for his new conditioner. That was at Monmouth Park at 1 mile on June 17th. He stalked and he won by a half length. In his next start, the Grade 3 Monmouth Cup, he stalked the pace. He made a bid for the lead, and then he ended up finishing a clear 2nd behind Proxy. And then the Island Stakes last time, 9-1, he upset that race, stalking the pace. So he'll probably be forwardly placed from that outer post, certainly in the best form of his career right now. 5-Star General, another one that can impact the pace, and he could end up being the one to catch in here. He's likes to go out there and set the pace like he did October of 2022 at Keeneland in an optional claiming race. At a mile and a 16th, he wired the field. He disappointed in the Tenacious Stakes. And then in an optional claiming race, he opened up a large lead at Fairgrounds, and he lost that lead in March. And then in April, the Evangeline Mile, he kept going after setting the pace there as the 3-2 favorite, and he won that one by 2 lengths. The Schaefer Memorial, he set the pace. He was 2nd behind Trademark. And then last time, the Longacres Mile, he stalked the pace, and then he was able to win that one as the favorite. So 5-Star General is sharp right now, and he's got good speed. Finally, number 9, American Revolution for trainer Todd Pletcher. This is a son of Constitution. He has the back class to win this, but he was very disappointing in his first start this year in the Evan Shipman against New York Bred Company. He was 45 cents on the dollar, 5-horse field, but he did stumble at the start, and then he made a move, and then he weakened, and he finished 4th, beaten 7 lengths. So that was a race that you were expecting much more from him, but he just did not deliver at all that day. If you go back, he's run some big races, especially his Grade 1 Cigar Mile victory back in 2021. But that was the last time that he won. He was in the Blame Stakes last year. He was 4th. And then the Stephen Foster, he was 2nd. Jockey Club Gold Cup, he was 2nd. Olympiad beat him both of those days. And then that Evan Shipman was his first start after a long layoff. So now 2nd start back, outside post. If he can get a clean start, I would expect that he's going to stalk the pace from that outside post. different ways you can go here. The pace scenario is interesting. I think 5-Star General can be forwardly placed, along with Whelen Springs and Blue Devil and Trademark. So there's a lot of horses with early pressing speed and outer posts. So Warrant, I think, can be forwardly placed as well. I don't think we're looking at a breakneck pace, but I think if the pace gets anywhere near honest, I think Rattle and Roll is going to win this race. I'm going to give him one more chance. I picked him in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. That race did not set up for him whatsoever. He just did not have a good run that day. But that was also at Saratoga, his first start after a layoff, and at 1 1/4, now cutting back to 1 1/8, returning to one of his favorite tracks. As I said, 6 starts at Churchill, 3 wins, a second, and 2/3. He's banked almost over $380,000 at Churchill. So Rattle and Roll for trainer Kenny McPeak. I think he can bounce back in this spot if he gets enough pace help. So he'll be my top choice in here. And different ways you can go in the exotics. I said Happy American can certainly maybe complete the trifecta if the pace gets hot. He's one that I certainly would look at to finish maybe somewhere in the money in here. But overall, I think this is Rattle and Roll's race if the pace is at least honest. He doesn't need a pace collapse. He just needs some honest fractions to chase. And if he does that, I think he gets there and he wins this race and he rebounds. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. And that will wrap it up for my 2 videos at Churchill this week. I'm going to be doing some more videos as we get we got Santa Anita starting. Soon Keeneland's going to be starting. We're going to be heating up on these Breeders' Cup prep races and these Road to the Breeders' Cup Win and You're In races. And I'm going to be covering as many of those as I can. I'm going to be doing articles at todaysracingdigest.com. So check out all of that stuff and my full cards as well at Santa Anita Park and my 2-day Breeders' Cup full cards. And that will wrap up this video. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.